Let's see. You know, we're just resetting it up here. Deactivate when not showing. Scene. Okay, so this one. YouTube, we might be live. Hold up. Just kind of messing around here. There we go. So if I do that, then I'm just kind of testing things. Shout out to Steelers Almighty for putting me on to the whole I can edit this in the post kind of thing. But you see, let me see, properties. Okay, so that'll stay, but then if I go up to here, it's going to go away. So we'll have to, I mean, this is something that I guess we can kind of work out in progress as it kind of happens for us. So let's see. Properties. Maybe I'll just keep it like this the whole time. Just to like, I don't know, just to kind of do it here. But I think we're live. YouTube, what's going on? Stream, what's going on? It is Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers. And we are back with another live. And low-key, why am I live? Cause I'm just sad. Truthfully, I'm just sad, and I kind of wanted to, I don't want to say double back on what I talked about in my post-game reaction. Not really changing of opinions because I kind of stand on everything or most of the things that I've said about this team and the current state that we're in, but also just like a little bit, I guess, more level-headedness, if that's the right word, just a little bit more of like concise, well thought out opinion, I suppose, because when I do my post game reaction, it is, you know, how it says, it's a post game reaction, and like it's just right, you know, right after the game and shit, you know, after I've watched us, you know, miss tackles, or after I've watched us continuously score, you know, negative however many points, or, you know, Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to nobody, or like TJ Watt can't get a sack against, you know, backup tackles, or like same thing with Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward is spending more time like arguing with Josh Allen versus like, you know, producing on the field. I have time to reflect, and then also, you know, I have time to kind of see what everybody else is saying, not only, you know, from the team, but also, I guess, media pundits or like Steelers fans in general. And the consensus is it just hasn't been worse. You know, I truthfully think that this is like the worst I've seen this fan base, honestly. And I don't think that's hyperbole. You know, obviously the Jacksonville loss, I wasn't really on like social media like that. And so, well, I mean, I was, but like I wasn't really on like Steelers social media like that. So like maybe I followed like a Blitzberg page or something like that on Twitter, but I wasn't really as tapped in as I am now. So like now when anything happens with the Steelers, I have my opinions, and then like I also can see, you know, a bunch of other people's opinions live and direct, like as soon as it's happening. And like, you know, the Browns playoff loss, that was a tough night, but even still, there was just like so much room for like, you know, we'll do better. You know what I'm saying? Like there was so much room for like, you know, Mike Tomlin, give him another chance. Big Ben, give him another chance. At the time, it was Big Ben, Kenny Pickett, Matt Canada. Like these are the people, even, you know, the killer bees. Hey, we just need Antonio Brown to be healthy in a playoff game. We just need Le'Veon Bell to be healthy and not suspended. We just need this. We just need that. And like, you know, things will work out. But now we're in the state of, it's been so many years. It's been so long of a run with Coach Mike Tomlin, with, you know, the organization as a whole, that like we're just over it. And, you know, the whole fire Mike Tomlin thing has kind of always been brewing. Like you can typically see that on the whole Twitter sphere. You can typically see that on, you know, random Facebook comments, random this, random that. But the fact that it got bad enough to kind of ring out throughout the stadium, in which, you know, they showed it, like they were literally saying, you know, fire Mike Tomlin in the stadium. I was there, And I was a part of the Fire Matt Canada crowd on the Monday Night Football game against the Browns. Maybe what, 2 seasons ago, 3 seasons ago at this point. It was like week 2. It was Monday Night Football. I was there, and I was a part of that. Now, had I been in the crowd tonight, and they were starting to do the whole Fire Mike Tomlin thing, would I have been involved with that crowd of the Fire Mike Tomlin? I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know. And I know, like, I'm a part of the problem for sure. I'm like the enabler, kind of like maybe Mike Tomlin is the enabler for this team, or like Art Rooney II is the enabler for Mike Tomlin, or like even now, even you know what I'm seeing as well. I'm seeing Omar Khan get like called into question now. Like if we had, it was a Blitzberg tweet, but essentially since Omar Khan is like a numbers guy per se, essentially because like he's a nerd. I'm using nerd loosely, but like since he's a nerd, like he doesn't really know football and blah 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 blah. So like if we had like a former middle linebacker in there as like our general manager, or like the who's the dude, whoever the guy in the Eagles is. That's who kind of gets compared to a lot for whatever reason. Maybe he had ties to the Steelers or something. But essentially, people aren't happy with Omar Khan either. Now, I won't lie. I like the whole quarterback thing is the quarterback thing, right? Like it's pretty shitty that like we're in this position of, we have Aaron Rodgers and that's it. Like we haven't really found our quarterback of the future. We haven't, we have no one really developing outside of Will Howard, in which we don't even know if Will Howard's going to be any good. We also, like it just that to me is like the biggest, I guess, kind of I'm gonna curse on this. In the videos I've been trying not to curse a little bit due to like, I had my suspension, and also I feel like my videos don't get pushed out as much, so like I try not to curse, but in the live I'm a curse. It is kind of shitty that we don't have the quarterback thing figured out. But past that, I kind of, the wide receiver 2 thing is also a big hindrance. But other than that, I kind of agree with the roster construction. Now, the coaching of it, like the schematics of it, I don't know if that's Omar Khan's necessarily his like domain or whatever. Like I feel like he just like assembles the roster, and then it's up to Tomlin, it's up for the coaches, it's up to other people to kind of like, coach that roster into place. But as far as like the roster construction, we could always, have a better quarterback situation. And then the wide receivers thing, that is inexcusable. Like, to me, Omar Khan is absolutely tripping when it comes to that. Like, clearly, we need another wide receiver. And, like, I don't know why we're trying to win in spite of, like, not having another wide receiver. It's, like, literally the Steelers are seeing the comments of, like, us needing one and, like, using that as motivation to, like, not go out and get one, which I feel like is stupid. I think we can all agree that's pretty dumb. That the Steelers are doing that. But that, to me, is like what it feels like. But anyway, I'm tying this all back. So, like, in the whole, Mike Tomlin sucks, in the whole Arthur Smith sucks, Terrell Austin, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward. Shout out to Chris Boswell. No one ever says Boswell sucks, so that's my guy. Shout out to him. But just, like, in that whole, sphere, Omar Khan is also getting, I guess, like, I don't want to say, he's also getting, like, flack for this team potentially being, ass or whatever. So, like, is it Omar Khan's fault? Maybe, but like I said, I feel like the roster construction, it could be worse. 100 million trillion % could be worse than what it is now. Like we could have a worse team, but like also at the same time, I don't see how we could have a worse team when like literally we can't score any points, when like literally we can't do much of anything. And so all of that to tie in as to why I'm live now, and I'm gonna edit it down. Shout out to Steelers Almighty once again for like, I guess, telling me about like I can like edit the live after the fact. The reason why I'm on here is because I feel like I can be a little bit more level-headed. Also maybe live talk to some of you guys out there if anyone ends up joining up, but I can be more level-headed and I can give kind of a more concise approach to my thought process and like how I feel about this team right now. And when I say that, how I feel about this team right now, it's not good. It's really not good how I feel about this team. Like I think we're done, truthfully. I think, we have, let me check. We have, let's see. We have a game against the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Lions, the Browns, and the Ravens again. The Ravens, who I believe are back in first place now in the AFC North. We've been flip-flopping with them, even though, once again, these These dudes started out 1-5. Like, that's kind of what I want to maybe start on, is the fact that we're blowing the AFC North. So, like, us being whack or whatever, us being like, we're mad at the Steelers, our offense sucks, all this, reasons as to why we're blowing it. That's one thing. But just the fact that we're doing it in a era, or not an era, in a year where the Bengals, they completely fell off. They fell off a cliff, and like maybe Joe Burrow being back is going to help them. But that's happening with them. The Ravens start out literally 1-5, and the Cleveland Browns, they're so horrible. In fact, speaking of the Cleveland Browns, I kind of wanted to bring this up too. And I saw this earlier, and like I saw this morning, and it was kind of funny. I don't know if you guys will find this funny. Hold on, let me see if I can edit here. So I be gambling sometimes, and I was like kind of looking at some lines here, and this is once again speaking of the Browns, and this relates to like the division that we're in, being the AFC North and the situation that we're in this year with like, all we had to do was really not be like ass, and like we win the AFC North this year. So this is how the Browns like opened up. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is how the Browns opened up this week against the 49ers. If you guys can see, this is like the touchdown scores, right? And it goes Quinshon Judkins as like the second, I guess, highest odds to score. And then it literally goes all the way down to the next highest odds, which was Harold Fanian Jr., the tight end for the Browns. And the 49ers defense was literally, how do I want to say, like favored more to score than anybody on the Browns. And so that's what's happening with Cleveland. That's literally what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And then the Ravens, they were 1-5. The Bengals, they're all hurt, and they have no defense. All we had to do was not be trash to lose this division. And what do you know? We're trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do we know? Like, we are literally ass. And so, like, that sucks. And then you think about the context as to why we're trash. It's like, we haven't figured out this whole quarterback thing. Aaron Rodgers, I'm probably going to talk about him a little bit later, but I want Aaron Rodgers far away from this team after this season. And I know that's like a complete flip of how I felt earlier on, but earlier on we were 4-1 and playing good. Now I'm starting to see, not only just regression in his play, but also this whole him being visibly frustrated on the field. Whether he's right or wrong, I just don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I just really don't like that from someone who's supposed to be a leader on the team, from someone who's like a 30-year veteran on the team, someone who should understand that, hey, we suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't need our quarterback now, like, on the field, like, yelling at Jonnu Smith in what week is it? What was it, like, week 13 or whatever, week 13, 14? Like, I get the frustration. I understand that. But, if Jonnu Smith still doesn't understand, the routes that he needs to be doing, or, like, the hot routes or whatever he's trying to do, if Jonnu Smith still doesn't understand that this far into the season, guess what? He's never going to understand it. Like, we need to stop cursing out, like, our players on the field, like, in the camera sense, in like we're watching at home and we can see how frustrated you are, Aaron sense. Like, I just don't like that. And so I would like for Aaron Rodgers, after the season, I would like for him to go, wherever he's going to go. And so, we're going to get a new quarterback or whatever, and we'll see how that goes. But it's just shitty. You know what I'm saying? It's just shitty. And then we look at the defense. Everybody on our defense is a million years old. Cameron Hayward, he's probably done after this year, I'll be honest. Cameron Hayward's probably done. He got a bag. He got 2 bags at the end of his career. So shout out to him for that. I'm always going to love and respect Cameron Hayward as a Steeler and whatnot. He's been my guy. He's been someone on the team who's been on the team most of the time I've been watching. Like a good 90% of the time I've been watching, Cameron Hayward's been on the team. And so, I respect him for that. I'm not going to like super duper clown him or whatever for getting a contract at the end of it like other people did. But he's probably going to be gone after this. I'm Coach TA's biggest supporter, but pay that man. LOL. TJ is so average. Are you talking about what's up? Hitting him. Are you talking about Terrell Austin or are you talking about Tomlin? Terrell Austin, thank you for bringing that. I haven't even mentioned the coaches that like we should be losing, but we're probably not gonna. Terrell Austin, gone. He needs to be gone. Arthur Smith, in my opinion, needs to be gone. And then TJ is so average. I mean, yeah, TJ's he's not even really having a good go of it now. I think TJ is like so good though, and so like polarizing that, he's just catching all these strays or whatever. He makes all this money and, here we look on defense. But the problems to me go like way farther than TJ Watt. And so like we can be mad at TJ. We can say, okay, he's overpaid or whatever, which, I feel like that's still up for discussion. But that's not the biggest problem, because like we find ways to pay other players on defense. Like it's not because we're not getting a wide receiver 2 because TJ Watt is getting paid. To me, like we're not getting a wide receiver 2 because we refuse to like look at the offensive side of the ball. And that's why TJ is getting paid, and also for his play. But like it's not TJ Watt's fault. So that's why it's hard for me to like really come on here and blast TJ like I do other players, is because I've seen how good he can be. I've seen how good he is. Like literally in person, I watched him set the sack record. And so I'm biased. I'll be honest. I'm biased. I got his jersey hanging up over there. I'm biased, but like he could for sure be playing better. Like he could for sure, do more. And Myles Garrett is also, he's gonna absolutely annihilate his sack record. And so that's another thing, man. Like this season has just been absolutely horrible. Like we're watching George Pickens have a career year over in Dallas. And then now, what's his name? Myles Garrett is going to break TJ Watt's sack record in the same season in which we could have won the AFC North, but we didn't because, we stink. Like literally, us and the Ravens are both 6-6. All we had to do was like be a little better than 500. We'd be if we were 2 games over 500, we would have the AFC North like damn near locked up to this point. If we were 2 games over 500, if we were 1 game over 500, we would have the lead currently. And so like us, and there's no real injuries. Our defense has been like slightly banged up, but we're not missing, prolific starter for the whole year. Like we just lost Broderick Jones, for example. Unless I'm tripping. Derek Harmon, I feel like Derek Harmon's been kind of in and out. We also didn't have him at the beginning of the season, but he's a rookie, for God's sakes. Like I know he was a first round pick rookie. So like we want him to have a big impact. But we needed to be better than what we've put out there, and we just haven't been. And so that's really kind of the moral of this season, is we underperformed the whole time. And even in that 4-1 stretch, like there was still room to be better, and like they took room to be better in the 4-1 stretch and then decided, hey, let's actually be worse now. You know what I'm saying? Like it just sucks. It just honestly, it sucks that we're in this position. But I do want to kind of, because I have Mike Tomlin's interview up here, so I kind of want to watch this now. Getting this out of the way, I swear, if I get like clapped for this, I'm gonna be tight. I don't think that this is like, how I want to say, I don't think this is like, super duper copyrighted. However, if it is, and I get clapped for this, then, YouTube, it's been real. It'll be like my second strike. And, but I'm still going to do it because it's something I want to watch with you guys. So this is Mike Tomlin after today's game against the Buffalo Bills. Let's hear what he has to say.
It's an awful performance by us, but it's us. We didn't do a lot well tonight, obviously. We didn't possess the ball or maintain ball security on offense. We were highly penalized. We allowed those guys to run the ball. Didn't play 60 minutes of action, didn't play complimentary football. And so
why? Okay, and I promise I'm gonna let this play, but like, for example, why does Mike Tomlin seem like me right now in terms of like his attitude and his demeanor and like his cadence and the way he's saying this? Like, why is he so sad? That to me, like, I get like he shouldn't just be up there cursing, but like, why is he so sad? Like he's the one who has like the ability to make these direct changes. He's the one who told us that like, this team was good enough, or we got lied to essentially that like this team would be good enough. Why does he seem so sad? That's my one question.
We got to absorb that result. We're certainly not going to feel sorry for ourselves. That's this business we're in.
He seems like he's feeling sorry for himself.
Had some injuries. Pat Queen had a contusion. He wasn't able to run, and so he wasn't allowed to come back into the game. James Pierre.
Shout out to James Pierre.
Protocol questions.
That you can pinpoint or explain some of the second half issues you've had this season?
Not putting together 60 minutes of action. Certainly, they're tangible things, things that you and I both see, but we better look at it hard, because it's usually something beneath the surface that's producing that, particularly in the consistency.
Brother, oh my God. I love Mike. I really do love Mike. And this is like the difference between, I guess, like a Mike Tomlin, like how do I want to say? Mike Tomlin to me. I don't know, pause to get that frame off because I feel like that frame was crazy. But to me, Mike Tomlin is a great leader. I'm just gonna say he's a great leader. Now, great leaders can lead their people into bad situations, right? Accidentally. Like great leaders can do that because they're leading. Like, you know, how do I want to say it? Like, this is crazy, but like in 300, Leonidas led all his people to, the Xerxes and like all the arrows at the end. I'm sure he wouldn't he would have wanted to lead them to a better situation. However, Leonidas is a good leader. And so Mike Tomlin is a good leader. Now that doesn't mean he's putting them in the greatest positions. But anyway, I'm saying all that to say like he's like not, hey, what's up with the second half blunders? He's not going out there saying like, Aaron Rodgers sucks. You know what I'm saying? He's not going out there saying like our defense, they just fall apart in the second half because they're tired. Like he's not saying that. He's taking the approach like he is one of the players, and I'm sure the players love that. However, when you're looking for answers as to why, things aren't going well, like as a reporter and as us, like the fans, like me, I want Mike Tomlin to just come on here and like tell me why we don't make any adjustments. But instead, he's like, it's like he's like a player right now. And like he doesn't have the answers, which, I would love for him to have the answers. But, let's let him keep cooking here. Where are we at? Okay.
We better look at it hard because it's usually something beneath the surface that's producing that, particularly in the consistency in which is occurring. That third quarter was awful. It was awful last week, and so we got to absorb the responsibility of that.
This is the third time you guys have led at halftime and then allowed another team to win. What do you guys as a coaching staff have to do better when other teams are adjusting to what you guys do?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I think that was Chris Carter, by the way. Shout out to Chris Carter. If you guys didn't see, I don't know this to be Chris Carter. If it's not him, my bad, but I'm still going to big him up. He asked Mike Tomlin like a very football question, like, why are we in cover 2 or whatever, like in this situation? And like, if you know that they're going to be running up the seams, why are you not adjusting out of cover 2 and like doing some other kind of, thing? And Mike Tomlin just completely shrugged that question off. And like, I thought it was a good question. A lot of people thought it was a good question. Mike Tomlin, he just wasn't trying to answer that shit.
Play a good half of football. We turned the ball over. It produced scores. And there's nothing mystical about that. It was really similar to last week.
Offensively, are you avoiding passing over the middle of the field? If not, how to explain so little production there?
It's just not enough production. We're not going to make excuses for it.
What the fuck is that? I'm sorry, Mike. What answer was this? Hold on. They asked Mike Tomlin if he is avoiding the middle of the field. We got to run that back because maybe I missed it.
If not,
Of course.
passing over the middle of the field. If not, how to explain so little production there?
It's just not enough production. We're not going to make excuses for it.
How do you explain the lack of production over the middle of the field? Mike Tomlin says there's just not enough production. We're not. What?
Why wasn't a package for Darnell Washington used earlier in starting in the fourth quarter? And 2, it seems the schematic for Coach Smith is not beyond 10 yards because of the passing. I know I'm a layman, but I'm interested in that.
All of those questions are reasonable given what we put out there. We got a lot of work in front of us.
Oh my! Mike Tomlin is not going to give us anything. Which this is not my first rodeo. I watch these all the time. I know Mike Tomlin. I know how he conducts himself. However, these are good questions. Like someone, I hope you guys can hear this, but someone asked him, why are we using the middle of the field late? Like why are we waiting to get Darnell Washington involved late? And why are we able to kind of have these explosive plays after the other team is like 52 points ahead of us? And Mike, he's just not giving anything. Now, the answer for me is they don't care about stopping us anymore. Like, they're going to give us these chunk plays because they just have to avoid giving up touchdowns. So, like, that's the answer to that. But, like, the fact that, there's no real answer out of Mike Tomlin is probably very frustrating. It's very frustrating for me. However, this isn't my first rodeo. Like, I know Mike Tomlin's not going to give us shit right now.
Issues that were popping up in the run game, do those stem from a lack of physicality, and how do you fix that at this point in the season?
I thought it just, was as it wore on, the attrition component of it became a factor. I'm not going to say too much tonight. I'll take a look at the tape, but certainly it was below the line and increasingly so.
How much did Derek Harmon's absence impact
whenever you miss some people, it's impactful.
I love Mike Tomlin, man.
Thing around exist in your building?
Certainly.
Gives you the confidence that they do.
Keep watching.
He just answered like 4 questions in 1 word in that thing. I'm going to check that in a second. Insanity. We continue to think we have a good defense and we don't. Offensively, we try to do too much and run too much heavy set. What is that? Is that Adelaide? I'm just going to call you What's up, AD? Anthony Davis. Yeah, it is insanity. Our defense, I think we have like the personnel to be a good defense, but like just in terms of the schematics, we suck. And then offensively, we do try to do too much. Like we're trying to run this like crazy tight end, as you said, like heavy set, like this Arthur Smith offense, and it's just not. It's not vindicative to winning. It stinks. You know what I'm saying? Like we are trying to do too much, and so I hope in the future Arthur Smith is no like we need. Hold on. Arthur Smith has to go, and if he has to go, in my opinion, but like if we decide not to, keep Arthur Smith, we need to abandon this like 19 tight end thing. To me, and maybe it's a hot take, I keep Darnell, and because we paid him, we keep Muth, but like at the same time, we also get another wide receiver. We don't look at Muth as like a replacement to another wide receiver because we just can't be trusted to use Muth. Like he's our second, I want to say our second highest paid like offensive weapon, and maybe our second leading receiver, if not, it's Kenneth Gainwell. But like we can't. Two different offensive coordinators haven't been able to find Muth at all, and so we can't be trusted to use him efficiently. And so if that means we got to get rid of him and just start over with like, because of the way he produces, it's like, who's to say like the Chargers, they just got Oronde Gadsden, for example, from I believe Syracuse. I don't know what round, but like, at the rate we use Muth, what's the difference between Muth and like, a 6th to 7th round pick, a late round pick who's not making that much on the cap, and then like we go out and we save money in other places. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, if we're gonna keep Muth, like then we do it, but I just don't really see why. Steelers Nation Australia, what's going on? You can't run toss plays and actually throw the ball in the middle of the field. Roman has been open plenty of times, but right, yeah, that's another thing. I haven't really mentioned that, but like there's just so many problems that keep happening, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't even met like the plays in which like are supposed to eat. We can't find Roman Wilson. There was a play today where Rodgers threw it to Calvin Austin, and Calvin Austin, shout out to him. The dude's like, he's a little taller than me. The guy's like 5'10", and like Rodgers threw a dot, except the dot would have been a dot if it was DK Metcalf. But since it was to Calvin Austin, it was like, it was over his head. And like, that's literally where we find ourselves. And Roman Wilson, I'm pretty sure, is the same height as Calvin Austin. And so if we can't find Calvin Austin, like how are we supposed to find Roman Wilson? But to me, it's like maybe we're scheming it to the wide receivers. Maybe we're scheming it to Roman and Calvin, and like we just don't see it. But it seems like the plan is, let's you know what? Let's get Kenneth Gainwell the ball this time. It seems like the plan is, hey, Connor Hayward might leak out 2 yards down the field. Hey, maybe Darnell maybe Jonnu Smith, if we hand the ball off to him instead of throwing it. Like that's what it seems like the play calling is. And that's asinine. It's insane that like we are going through this. Who has it worse than us? Truthfully, I know there's teams actually worse than us, literally. Like, for example, the Browns, but the Browns, they're horrible. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know that there's teams who just flat out suck, but like, it's really horrible being in this position of like mediocrity, I guess, and like having expectations and it falling apart. Cause like Titans fans, they have no expectations, and like, they're 2 and whatever. I'm sure that they're chilling. The Titans, they're chilling though, but like they're chilling. At 2 wins, they're gonna get another high draft pick. They're gonna, maybe eventually be good in the future. But like, no one is like having them. No one is having them be better than what they are season in and season out. And there still is 5 games to go, but just it's going to be a long 5 games. And you're doing a good job of like kind of keeping me grounded, because without you, Steelers Nation Australia, without you, I don't know why I keep calling your name. Without you, Mark, I'd probably be on the Fire Tomlin train too. Like it's hard for me to, like, I'm trying to stay positive. I really am. But when you got Mike Tomlin on here giving me nothing to work with, and like, just, I can see the writing on the wall. you know, we'll see. We have to actually let's get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to the playoffs.
Confidence that they do.
Let's hold on. Well, also we're gonna get back to this interview real quick because Mike Tomlin, I'm sure he's gonna tell us something.
Below the line and increasingly so.
How much did Derek Harmon's absence impact you stopping the run?
You know, whenever you're missing people, it's impactful.
Solutions to turn this thing around exist in your building?
Certainly.
You see the confidence that they do.
Keep watching.
But see, that's another thing though. Like, we can hate Mike Tomlin and like be upset at like his answers, but at the same time, like when the questions are, hey, are the people who are gonna win, are the people who are gonna win on the team currently, like, is he supposed to just say no? Like, no, everybody on the team right now sucks. Like, obviously he's not gonna say that, and so like that's a bad question.
Rushes today. So what do you have to do to be effective game in and game out with running the ball?
You know, we got to win possession downs. We got to maintain possession of it. We can't turn the ball over. It'll produce more snaps for us. If we do that, man, we'll probably have more than 58 or whatever it is that you mentioned.
Seemed like you guys kept your safeties back more to stop the pass, and that worked early. But what did you guys need to do with the guys up front to stop the run while doing that?
We had an appropriate safety allocation relative to the run. We did.
Whoo, we had appropriate safety allocation. Wait, what did he? Yeah, we had appropriate safety. What?
Run while doing that.
We had an appropriate safety allocation relative to the run.
Relative to that's hard. Essentially, we had the safeties in the right position to stop the run. However, we're getting pushed around up front and in the middle, and so if we're getting pushed around up front in the middle, it doesn't really matter where the safeties are. You know, they probably could have dropped the safeties down. However, you drop the safeties down, then Josh Allen takes us over the top. Also, Josh Allen today. Did you guys see? And trust me, I hate Josh Allen. Let me get that out. I hate this guy. Like I hate the way he walks. I hate the way he talks. I hate the fact that he has his girlfriend. I hate the fact that like he won that MVP last year. I hate the fact that like he's so praised. I hate the fact that he plays for the Bills. I hate the fact that he's in the AFC. I hate Josh Allen, right? But man, he was cooking today. He honestly was cooking today with those pump fakes. Like there was a few where like it was looking like Big Ben a little bit in terms of the pump fake, and like he was taking off on his legs, and so that adds a whole other factor to it. They were running to TJ Watt's side a lot, and like it just worked. You know what I'm saying? It just worked running to the TJ side. That sucks. Tomlin deserves criticism, but not the whole show for sure. I feel like I've been a very, I guess, critical of Tomlin recently, but that's because I mean it's the YouTube game, so I hope people can understand that. And like I get comments all the time of things I say in videos, and like it's clear that the person didn't watch the video, because like if they would have watched the video, they would have heard what I said. So like that just comes with the territory, and at the same time it's the YouTube game, so like I know how people are feeling. But also like if I felt Aaron Rodgers was the main problem, I would say Aaron. If I felt it was Arthur Smith, I'd say Arthur Smith. I truthfully feel that Tomlin's influence right now is he has too much of an influence. He needs to just let go of the team a little bit. Now, that's too embarrassing to do. Like he would never just relinquish his influence on the team, nor really should he. I don't know, but he would never just do that. So like it's either he gets fired or we continue on this. Like that's just what's gonna happen. But I think if he just if two coordinators were brought in and like they did their thing, and like Mike Tomlin was just responsible for motivating the locker room, and then in terms of like the actual play calling was on the coordinators. And I know what they say, Mike Tomlin doesn't call plays, but like we have two different offensive coordinators who do the same thing. We've had like 5 different defensive coordinators who all do the same thing. Like that's not a coincidence. Like I hope we're adults about this. Like we know Mike Tomlin has influence. Like he just needs to not have influence anymore. That just is what it is. But that's never gonna happen because like I don't know. I feel like it's embarrassing. But I still want Mike Tomlin on the team. Like, I really don't want him to get fired. I just want shit to get better. You know what I'm saying?
We did.
Is the offense limited by Aaron's risk?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't.
A number of games where
I might start putting Mason Rudolph on sometime. By the way, like, can we believe how bad Mason Rudolph is? Are we allowed to hate on him? Are we allowed to bring up Mason Rudolph like being trash or no? Are we still loving Mason Rudolph? Because boy, oh boy. Mason Rudolph stinks. If I got to see him come out and not Will Howard again, I'm gonna turn the TV off. Like he has done nothing with his opportunities, man. Like, and maybe we're not the best anyway, but like this dude came out, threw the ball in the dirt, then threw an interception. Like, come on, man. Like it's not like he's cold. He just played last week. Like he has way more reps than a lot of other players get. He just stinks.
other teams had backups in on the offensive line, and your defensive front hasn't seemed to be able to take advantage advantage of that? Why do you think that is?
You know, good question. I don't have the answer to it. I know that, you know, they weren't in a whole bunch of one-dimensional passing circumstances today, and that's usually where the backup game shows.
Looking at game plan or personnel changes offensively?
I'm looking at everything.
And also the time of possession, isn't that critical for your defense to get a little rest in terms of that as well?
That's what I was talking about when I referred to the attrition component of it.
Mike, how do you guys make counter teams that kind of commit to the run the way the Bills did? It seemed like a lot of the runs when you guys run it, you were running it into the teeth of them.
I'm sorry?
How do you guys counter when teams are committing to stop the run the way the Bills did? It seemed like a lot of plays they were just charging forward.
You know, run it, pass it, man. We just weren't successful enough today, man, to sustain any type of ball control or produce enough points to be functional today, and that's just the reality of it.
Mike, did you have a sense for how restless and frustrated the crowd was today?
I know how restless and frustrated I was, and so I assume they were in the same state we were in.
Did you have any?
You have a couple of big splash plays against you early in the third quarter.
Is anyone going to tell him that they were chanting "Fire Tomlin," or do we assume that he heard that? Man, if I was in there, I'd be like, Mike Tomlin, they are chanting "Fire you" right now. Like, what are you gonna do to prevent that from happening again? Because low key, I mentioned this at the beginning of like, yo, man, why does he seem so sad? Like, why does he seem like me right now making this video? Like, he's supposed to be the coach, he's supposed to be the guy, like hyping it up. All these players are letting our boy down, man, Mark. All these players are letting Mike Tomlin down. Like, if maybe he's not the problem. Maybe it's just everybody else every single season, and like they just continuously, they think they can get away with it. They don't understand that they're costing him his job, that like they're making him get looked at, you know, worse than what he should. I would have, like, they should be running suicides like for 3 straight days, low-key. And I know you can't do that with grown-ass men, but like they would be running hills for days if I was Mike Tomlin, because like this is unbelievable. I wish Howard didn't miss the preseason. I wanted to see him. TJ is washed. He's so unathletic to Herbert. Oh, whoa. I don't think TJ is washed. Like, I don't think. See, that's the thing. Like, gosh, like TJ plays so good that like him in his state now, like he's washed. Like, I don't think he's washed. I think it's just not, you know, the incredible levels that TJ is normally playing at. Now, I also hate that, like, in order to talk about Nick Herbig every single time is like, in order to talk about Nick Herbig, we have to bring down Alex Highsmith or bring down TJ Watt. We should just be able to get Nick Herbig on the field more. And like that's something that has to happen. We need to get Nick Herbig on the field more. TJ's washed, bro. He's slow. Maybe. I don't know. I just like, you know, I mean, you guys see the jersey in the back. I'm not going to be out here talking about TJ's wash, but he's definitely not having a good go of it. And Omar, the coaching. You know, Highsmith is always hurt. I talked about this at the beginning of the live, but like, I don't think Omar, outside of the other wide receiver thing, like I don't think Omar is having a horrible go of it. Like I think he's drafted relatively well, and you know the quarterback, it's the quarterback and the second wide receiver, which are 2 very important parts of the team. But I don't think we should be like destroying Omar Khan right now. I think it's a little early to be smoking Omar Khan right now. But that's just me. Maybe Omar does stink too, and we got to get rid of him as well. I love them both. I think Omar is good.
There's still a lot of game ahead. Do you feel like you weren't able to find an emotional response to that in addition to the on-the-field stuff?
Forget the emotional response, man. We didn't produce plays, you know. We didn't produce enough plays to put the fire out.
Couple more.
That's ironic. Do you really believe to fire Tomlin? No. Like, if you like, truthfully, if you ask me, I would say no. However, 2 things. One, it's in like the thumbnail's in quotes, so like it's like what other people are saying is what I'm trying to, you know, portray. But I'm just upset. You know what I'm saying? I'm just upset. Like, you know, you get mad and it's like, I hate you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really hate you. You know, I love Mike Tomlin. Like, he's always gonna be my coach, and I'm gonna ride it out, you know, with my guy. But I mentioned this a little bit ago. I just don't know. I don't know who else to put in the thumbnail. I don't know who else's fault it could be. I don't know, like, what we as a team, I guess, but I can't, you know, I can't fit all 53 players into a thumbnail. I'm just upset, and it is what it is. There's such thing as being somewhere too long. We need new coaching. These guys are not responding. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we're not gonna actually fire Mike Tomlin. He'll probably see out his contract. I think like the best situation to me, and maybe this is something we can all agree with, is Mike Tomlin. He stays as like this leader, right? Like he stays as our figurehead. He stays as like, you know, all due respect, like not even trying to be funny, but like he stays as like the Steelers mascot or whatever, like literally not like a mascot, but like just like the face of the Steelers. But like behind the scenes, we have like this young OC and this young DC who are like really kind of cooking, you know what I'm saying? Who are really in charge of like the plays. Because I mentioned a little bit ago, you know, they say Mike Tomlin doesn't call plays, but like with Matt Canada and now Arthur Smith, the offense looks the same. With Terrell Austin and prior to him, Keith Butler, the defense looked the same. So like there has to be a little bit of influence going on there. There has to be that little bit of influence of like, hey, we need to be doing this instead of this. And that influence comes from Mike Tomlin. And truthfully, that shit doesn't work. Like he needs to go, you know, far away from that. But I still want him on the team. Tomlin's the problem. It's time for him to go. I believe he'll be gone at the end of the season. I don't believe that. I don't think Hill will be gone at the end of the season. Maybe Tomlin should go on a vacation for a little bit. That's not going. And yeah, and like what AD is saying in terms of like the ego, like that's just not going to happen. And so the only way that does happen is we fire him. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, they may shake hands and part ways. Let's see. As fans, we cannot impact change. Just have to not get stressed over it. I consider me stressed, man. I was at the store, and I was thinking, I'm like, give me the Newports. Just give me the Newports. Give me the cigarettes. And mind you, it's 2020. What is it? 2025. People aren't even smoking cigarettes anymore, man. But I was like, I almost got a Black and Mild. I was so stressed out. I was like, man, like we're winning at halftime, dude. Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game, and we know it's the same things every time, man. And like that's why it's so hard, because like how can we defend Tomlin if he hasn't won a playoff game in 10 years? I don't know. We'll think of new ways. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is old. If you think about it, Aaron Rodgers is old. So like, as a true Steelers fan, it takes it to heart. I'm sick of watching a weak. I'm sick of watching a weak defense as well. I would love to stop the run better than what we do. I'd also love like. All right, here we go. We got some examples. You guys are getting some Isaiah lore right now. I have like a bunch of pens on my desk. Like here, like okay, here is one player, right? Like here's the offensive player. The offensive player. Actually, no. This is the offensive player because it's the blue pen, and you guys can see the blue pen. And like, hey, thank you for the donation. Let's let and live. Go fucking Steelers. Here we go. Cheers, Zaya. Thank you, Steelers Nation Australia. Thank you, Mark, for the super chat. I don't know if I have anything on the screen because I'm not really used to this whole live thing. But thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. But anyway. This is the offensive player. This is the wide receiver, right? And they have 1 yard to get. This is the defensive back that we have. Now, if there's only 1 yard to get, you would think they'd be, close. However, the Steelers continuously do this. The defensive back is all the way over here, and all the offensive player has to do is take 2 steps, turn, and then bang, catch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sick of that shit. I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if that's Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin, the schematics, Art Rooney, Santa Claus. I don't know whose fault that is, but we need to stop doing that shit, But once again, Mark, thank you for the super chat. I encourage the super chats, I encourage the super chats. I appreciate it. Shit, man, like, just a really tough state. Is TJ Watt washed? It's still, I'm just joking. Maybe he's, I don't know. I'm not going to call TJ Watt washed, but he's definitely not having the best go of it. And the fact that Myles Garrett is just like obliterating his sack record this season. JPJ was poor all game long. TBA, like, that's another thing. We can't, that's where I don't understand it. I'm screaming that all game. Like, the running back isn't going to run by you if you're a corner. You're so, like, it's so annoying, AD. It's absolutely so annoying that shit happens. But it's like that every single game, every single season. Like, it's just crazy to me. And even like Julian Edelman has called that out before too, like on his podcast. Other people call it out. Did you guys see James Harrison? James Harrison and what's his name, Joe Hayden. They have a pretty funny podcast. Joe Hayden is really funny, honestly, because like, and I don't really watch this. Maybe I don't watch as much as I should, but like it seems like James Harrison is just like going in the entire thing, no matter like what the topic is. Like James Harrison is just like yelling, and then what's his name? Joe Hayden is down there like, oh, like he's just like making faces the whole time. It's just really funny. It's also, I like Joe Hayden, but he was a Cleveland Brown at one point, and what's his name? James Harrison did go to the Patriots. I know James Harrison, he's this legendary guy, but like he did, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, shout out to James Harrison. Shout out to Joe Hayden. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Mike Tomlin, let's finish this out, my guy.
When the crowd chanting to fire you in your home stadium.
Man, I share their frustration tonight, man. We didn't do enough. And that's just the reality of it.
Coach, AFC North is everything for you to win it is still in front of you. So what do you have to do to keep this team or to get this team going to win
Win.
some games to
You-
possibly win the AFC?
You know, I'm not big picture oriented tonight. I'm just talking about what we did or didn't, more importantly, did not do tonight. Certainly, we understand where we are and the opportunity that's in front of us from a divisional standpoint. But that, you know, that's very secondary as we sit here tonight, man. We had a poor performance, and that's where our energy is and should be in terms of the analysis of this.
God damn, that was a long answer. But yo, if you think about it, right? Because like I guess we played the Ravens twice. It's really shout out to Pepsi. Oh my god, I just burped. It's really down to us and the Ravens. Now the Bengals, they could come out of nowhere or whatever, do their thing and catch up. But like it's down to us and the Ravens. And like if we just win these games, we do win the North. But it's also frustrating because like we had this division locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like this division was curtains by like week 5. And like I don't know how Vegas did it. Maybe it's because the NFL is rigged or whatever, but like Vegas the whole time was like, nope, Baltimore's got it. Like Baltimore's got it. They're 1-5, you're 4-1, but guess what? Baltimore's got it. And here we do. We found ourselves in this position of like now like we have to beat the Ravens in order to do it. But as Mark said, as Mike Tomlin is saying, like we still can. We still can win the division. Like it's not completely over yet. But it just should have been better. It just should have been better. You know what I'm saying? Like we should right now be kind of coasting. Like we should right now be looking to split the season series with the Ravens, and like maybe that's kind of still what we're looking to do. But now it's like, bro, if we don't win, like we ain't eating dinner tonight. Like if we don't win, we're getting evicted. Like that's the feeling of it, and it just shouldn't have felt like that. The Ravens are going to run. That's what they did to us last year in the playoffs, and so hopefully we show some pride. Hopefully we kind of like get it back. Hold on. Hopefully we kind of like get it back or whatever, but it just is what it is, man. Like I'm indifferent, and I also because I wanted to also watch some other things. Hey, the passion is real. We mad, but I'm always gonna be a Steeler fan. I always say that. However, hold on, let me watch this. So if I do this, like it's a completely black screen. Like I know you guys can still hear me. And this isn't the best for like, the viewing pleasure or whatever. But I wanted to show some other stuff. And I also didn't want to like show the entire kind of screen. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull up Aaron Rodgers' like interview now. We can keep kind of talking Steelers ball. I just want to pull up Aaron Rodgers' interview real quick. Here we go. I think we got it. The worst thing that happened in the NFL is getting into the betting crap. Is 100%. And like, hold on. This is like a deeper point that I've always tried to make, but like, didn't. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Is my video like going crazy right now? I uploaded a video today, and like I'm kind of like looking at the comments and shit. Maybe I should. Oh my video is exploding low key. Yo, hold up. Let's get some YouTube lore real quick. We're gonna be talking about the Steelers. We're gonna be talking about the betting thing in a second. But I want to get my shit off here because I am fresh off a suspension. I am fresh off of I want to call it a shadow ban. I'm gonna be honest. I want to call it a shadow ban. Like before I got monetized, I swear to God I was cooking. Like it was videos, and like it's not anybody's fault really. And like the Steelers being trash or whatever, they don't help. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone being mad at the Steelers really does not help the whole like Steelers channel thing. But it just like it hurt. It really hurt. Like doing so well on YouTube, and then all of a sudden like it just kind of kaputzed. And then at one point like it was like I was uploading to nobody, and then like I got suspended, and it was like, bro, like it's crazy. Man is dead. So like I'm sure Mark, you're going through like the same thing probably. I just don't understand like what's happening. People need somewhere to vent. You would think, but like I swear to God, like it was like here's my channel and here's like something else, and then like literally like they were just putting my channel nowhere. You can look at the settings, and like Why did they suspend you? So I'll talk about that in a second. But essentially, I was looking at my analytics and like they weren't pushing my videos out to new people. It was like just my subscriber base. And even then, not to flex or whatever, but I want to say I have like 1,200 subscribers, right? And so like 1,200 subscribers, I'm getting 20 views. Like, are you kidding me? Like, but I'm trying to be humble. But anyway, it's seeming like it's kind of coming back a little bit. And I am like eternally grateful for that. Like I am super duper grateful for that. And Mark, I would just encourage you to keep kind of going and like keep doing your thing. I'm always gonna be watching your videos, if anything, and I'll always comment and stuff when I can. I'll just kind of boost it up. But like it just really, I 100% understand. It's a real thing. It has to be a real thing. It's insanely annoying. But why did I get suspended? So I was on a live much like this one, and I was like literally watching NFL games. Not like the entire thing, but like the highlights, right? And I had the sound on, which is like a big no-no. And I knew I was gonna get demonetized for it, but like they ended my live in the middle of it. Like literally, I'm here now, and then all of a sudden, like how I'm talking to you now, and then all of a sudden it was like, that's what happened. And so I'm like, okay, that's never happened to me before. And then I got a strike, and I got the strike, and I got shook. And so instantly I tried to appeal it, even though I'm dead in the wrong. Like I know I'm in the wrong. But I still try to appeal it because I don't want the strike. I work very hard on this channel. Like I do all of the editing, I do all of the recording, I do all of the graphics, I do all of the ideas, I do everything for this channel. And so I didn't want the strike, so I appealed it. However, they have this thing, and it's like if you appeal it and like try to like falsify why you appealed it, like we could get you worse. And they got me worse. Steelers, thank you again for 10 more. Shout out to Steelers Nation Australia. Thank you, Mark. Big facts, And so anyway, I appealed it. They were like, you were hella in the wrong. And they suspended me. And then I appealed that appeal because I did like a class. I had to do like a course or whatever. I had to do a course. And it was like, is there, can you use game footage? And it was just a whole thing. But anyway, I'm back now. And so I appreciate that. Mark, thank you again for the another donation. Shout out to all you guys. And so that's why I got suspended. And at one point, like I was getting hella views on my videos and stuff. It is what it is. YouTube doesn't, it's legit, man. YouTube only promotes pop. It's legit. Like, it just sucks. But all of that to say, I don't want to get down in the dumps because I was down in the dumps for a little bit. It's seeming like it's kind of coming back. And so once again, I'm grateful for that. And Mark, I'm telling you, man, just keep up. You, Mark, are like someone I like really, I want to say look up to because like you have like this actual like community thing and like this whole membership thing. Like I see you go live and like I see you have like viewers, and not only viewers, like you have the same viewers. I've had like a consistent 3 to 5 viewers like through through like different eras. So like at one point I had the same 3 viewers that like I recognize their usernames, and then fast forward it's a different 3 viewers that have the same user, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like you have had like a consistent, kind of base to it, and like that's something I've always like looked up to and respected, you know what I'm saying? Like, and there's another channel, his name is Steelers Almighty. He like is killing it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like he does really well, and like he has like these graphics and like this HD camera, and like his shit is crazy, low key. Like honestly, his shit is crazy. He's someone else I kind of like look up to in this whole YouTube game. Play Will Howard, coach. Give him a give him a chance to play. Your record doesn't matter. The fact you read the comments, Will. I'm going to sub to you and thank you for the Did he read the comments, Will? I don't know if that's to me, but AD, thank you if you're subscribing to me. Shout out to the future subscribers, man. I say that all the time. Shout out to the future subscribers. Play where I do think Will Howard should play 100%. Will Howard should 100% be playing. We don't need to see Mason Rudolph play again. And let's watch Aaron Rodgers. Let's see what Aaron Rodgers has to say about this team. But overall points, because I mentioned it just now. I appreciate and love all of you guys. Honestly, like y'all have no idea how much like this channel means to me. That's why it was hurting me so bad when like when shit just like wasn't going well for my channel, and it was like, why even record? Like, why even record a video if like no one's gonna watch it? But like, I'm gonna watch the games anyway. You know what I'm saying? Mark with another My RBU beer in person. Here we go. Thank you so much, Mark. I really, really, really appreciate it. Mark is going crazy in the chat with the donations. Thank you, Mark. Let's see what Aaron Rodgers has to say. Shout out to everybody in the chat. If anybody is here watching and hasn't subscribed, I encourage you, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We always gonna be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's get it, man. Damn, is he drinking a beer?
Yeah, we just didn't have a lot of positive plays.
I think we got to turn this up. How does everything sound? Can you guys hear?
I felt good enough to be out there. Just not ready to take a snap under center yet. Hopefully next week for that. Disappointed in my performance. Disappointed in the offensive performance.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Aaron Rodgers has been playing like hot garbage. Like that's another. Aaron Rodgers has been playing like really, really bad. You can call me AJ. Shout out to AJ. Aaron Rodgers has been playing like really, really bad. And that sucks. We need Aaron Rodgers to be playing better than what he is. Also, his nose is cooked, which isn't bad. And like him not being able to play under center is even crazier. Like that one even hinders us more. But then the fact that I'm sure we'll talk about this in a second, but the fact that Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in the game and then Mason Rudolph comes in and then we're running the same pistol offense with Mason Rudolph when he can go under center is just it's so stupid to me, honestly. That really frustrated me seeing that literally one Mason Rudolph drive. That really got me upset.
And we got to flush this one. We're 6-6, and we had a game for the division lead this week.
We do have a game for the division lead.
And the offensive performance will cause what we saw tonight.
No, I got to look at the film, but it's just execution, obviously. But I got to look at the film.
Execute. See, and like they're asking him, what caused this bad performance or whatever, and like execution. If we execute, like, what happens when we execute these plays? Because like we just seem so mid. You know what I'm saying? Like we just seem so mid, man. And I hate looking as bad as we look. Like I wish we had like this crazy offensive coordinating. Maybe one day we'll get to that, but just for right now, no.
Where you guys ran it to the right with Kenneth Gainwell, was that the called play or was that something that you guys checked into at the line of scrimmage?
That was called play.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, guys, real quick. I'm gonna keep this here. I'm gonna stay here real quick, but I do want to show this play that he's talking about because this was something that was uber duper frustrating to me. And low key, I wish that like my webcam popped up, but like you guys can see, I'm literally still here. It's just like a black screen. I'm literally still here, but this was very frustrating to see, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it. Hold on, let me see. Adam, what's going on? I'm still here. I'm just trying to find a play. Steelers 3rd and 9. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I can't. I'm not gonna be able to find this play, but I do know. I'm thinking about something else. So in the there was a 3rd and 9 where like we're down. It's literally third down, and like we hand the ball off, and we don't pick it up, and running it on 3rd down is crazy, and we're the softest team in the league for that. Like truthfully, we're the softest team in the league, and we're always the softest team. Adam, thank you for the $5. Great channel. I just found you, by the way. Way too easy on Tomlin. Part of the problem. And yes, I watched the whole video mercifully on 2x speed. Thank you for the donation. We've been talking about Mike Tomlin for a little bit. I feel like I get the point across without having to like really hammer it home. Because if I just like get on here and it's like Mike Tomlin sucks, Mike Tomlin sucks, Mike Tomlin sucks, I feel like I'm like everybody else. Like I understand Mike Tomlin sucks, but what are we gonna do in the meantime of Mike Tomlin sucking? The fact that you think he should not be fired make this entire channel a joke. Well, ha ha ha. It is what it is. I've been there. Why even record? Wait, I've been there. Why even record? Wait. Okay, so back to so we run it on 3rd down, which is pretty much like us just giving up. And then there was another play where it was on the goal line and it was 4th down, and we ran it on 4th and 2, and like Aaron Rodgers literally just you know what I'm saying? Like he just looks so frustrated, and like the horrible body language, horrible just everything. And like I'm sure he's gonna talk about this Jonnu Smith thing. He's gonna talk about it, but like I just can't stand that Aaron is like looking so frustrated on like the whole bad plays. Like I get he can be mad, but like he's someone who is supposed to be a leader of the team, and like he's been a veteran for so long. He's been on the team for like 100. He's been in the NFL for like 100 years. You would just expect better of that out of the quarterbacks. It is what it is. Let me see. It's his channel. Make your own channel. It's a bad coaching. Trash channel. TJ to be traded. Okay, it is bad coaching and bad players. I'm not gonna really, keep getting into it. I appreciate the $5. It is what it is. We can have like a difference of opinion. It's cool. Maybe one day, we'll win a Super Bowl again. We'll have to see. But anyway, let's get back to Aaron Rodgers.
Cut on the nose, broken.
Thank you for the $5.
It's not broken. But
His nose does look his nose looks kind of broken.
just had to stop the bleeding. It was bleeding all over the place.
As a quarterback, when you guys are down and you're in that down and distance, what did you see on that play to try to run the ball there instead of trying to attack downfield on the 3rd and 9 where you guys ran?
Come on, man.
So yeah, someone asked him like why run the ball instead of just throwing it, and like Aaron Rodgers, he's clearly he's not going to answer that, but like I think the answer is we probably should have thrown it, but like we're a scared football team, so like we decided to hand the ball off. Like that's just really the thing. You think Omar is calm? Okay, Adam Jacob Schmidt is like really upset. Can I let's see. Put user in timeout. I'm gonna put him in a timeout. It is what it is. I'm gonna give him 10 minutes. If he wants to come back, man, it is what it is. I don't know if I'm being an asshole for putting him in timeout. Hold on, guys. Shout out to the viewers. Once again, can we get a like? Can we get like a subscription? Shout out to all y'all. I've never been in the position of having so many people in the live. I gotta put someone in timeout. So shout out to Adam for being that one. And shout out to the $5. Do I keep the 5? I hope I keep the 5. I don't know how to refund people either. I've never been in that position. Let's see. Roger, what's going on? There are other channels. Don't like the content. Go out. I just found this channel just now. I'm interested to hear all the takes. Plus, Tomlin is only one issue. JJ52, what's going on? Why lose instead of win? If he ends one pick. What? Why? JJ, what's up? But yeah, I can't why would we run the ball? I just don't understand the thought process on it sometimes. I don't understand why we'd run the ball on 3rd down other than the fact that we're just scared. And it's hard for me to admit that, we're scared, but it's like we'd be giving up a lot of the times,
You want to start talking philosophical? Is that what you want? It's 3rd and 9. They brought pressure off that side. So we checked. We had a run called that we checked the blocking. They did on the run, and we had a chance. We had a chance. If that thing hits, nobody says a goddamn thing. If we block on the front side, on the perimeter, literally everybody's blocked up.
But I feel like we always do that though. We always hand the ball off on these clearly throwing situations, but it's not like we've been good at throwing it. It's not like we've been good at, passing the ball or whatever. And so maybe, it makes sense to run, but at the same time of all this, we're not really establishing the run either. So, I don't know.
We got to sustain those blocks on the outside. Kenny gets first down there. Nobody says a damn thing.
You hit Darnell a couple of times late there over the middle there. Before that, there hasn't been much. It's been a while. Is the offense avoiding throwing across the middle of the field?
Is the offense avoiding throwing to the middle of the field?
It's not happening.
No, there's no avoiding it. There's plays called every single week. There's just not separation and not the coverages that dictate the ball going down the middle of the field on that play. It did. They played too high. Darnell did a nice release. We wrapped around the seam runner behind him and made a positive play.
Oh my God, get out of the camera, dude. Get out of the camera, my guy. But Aaron, he kind of, Aaron is the complete opposite of Mike Tomlin in terms of leadership style. Because he's going to let it fly. So he kind of, let it slip that, hey, we don't have separation. And that's why we're not throwing it to the middle of the field. And that's vindicative of, the talent and the personnel that we have. That's hey, we talking about we need another wide receiver. That's exactly what that kind of falls under. And so maybe that's why we're not using the middle of the field. But then you look at the personnel that we do have in terms of the Darnell, the Muth, and the Jonnu Smith. We're supposed to be able to throw it to the middle of the field. That separation is supposed to be there. And the fact that it's not, that, that begs into other questions. What do we have to do in order to get that, you know, separation out there, it's tough.
Inconsistencies that have been happening in this offense, does that stem from something that's not happening in the preparation? You talked about a lack of focus that happens sometimes during the week. Is that what the root of these problems are?
Yeah, we'll look at.
You got a Japanese beer?
Sure. I thought we had a better preparation week and a poor practice week for whatever reason. I'm not sure if it was the cold weather or what it was.
Poor practice.
It wasn't our best week of practice. That doesn't always translate to a negative performance. There's been great practice weeks and bad performances, and poor practice weeks, great performances over them.
Aaron talks too much. Aaron talks too much because now we had a poor practice week. Hold on, we just lost to the Bears. We're coming off a loss, and what do you? Why did we have a poor practice week? Because it's cold. It's like the little things that add up. Why are we having poor practices and we just lost the game? We should be having our best practices when we you know are losing. I'm assuming. Okay, I was gonna say I haven't seen that one. Moderno. Low key, I had Modelo the other day. I bangs with Modelo. That's my thing. I don't even have beer. The only thing I have is like Hennessy. That's the only thing I have is Hennessy. And low key, maybe I'll go drink some. We need to hire Henrik. We need to hire Deion Sanders. He can get the best out of Shador and lead us to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna pin that. Hey man, we need to go get Deion Sanders.
But it wasn't the best practice week, so we got to practice in the elements better, and the execution again just wasn't where it was. I can give you a better answer on Wednesday, but let me look at the film first.
Do I think Aaron is old? Yes. He's a little old.
It's a lot of things. Kind of just a feeling. A lot of it's just the energy at practice.
This right here is
and
old.
The tempo. So we talked about it, and I thought Friday was better, but I thought Thursday wasn't a great tempo execution practice for us on offense.
Mark's making me kind of want to drink. I'm not gonna lie. I might go crack that bottle.
What TJ said.
Yeah.
Great.
No, it's just there's momentum swings in the game, and I didn't think we had great performance in the first half. We were ahead. There's a lot of conversation at halftime about some different things. We came out, called a play. It was gloved. We hit in the bag, fumbled, 10-7.
You know what's frustrating about that? Who hit it? Aaron. He got hit pretty bad. But what's frustrating about that play is literally right before Aaron Rodgers fumbles the ball, Mike Tomlin is out there saying yeah, we need to run the ball better. We need to be better at running the football. The first play we call coming out of the half is a pass play. And in that pass play, Aaron Rodgers gets sacked, he fumbles, and then it is what it is. But literally, it goes, we need to run the ball better. 3 seconds later, Aaron Rodgers tries to pass and he gets sacked. And that's just crazy. The wide receivers are not getting open. He has to hold the ball on and get pressured. The receiver, and that falls, I guess, kind of on Omar Khan, but also could be the play calling because maybe is Calvin Austin, hold on. Two things. One, is Calvin Austin just are we out on him? Because I feel like Roman Wilson is, not getting the ball even though he's open, and then Calvin Austin is getting the looks and not open. But then rewinding it back a little bit to everybody's favorite Steeler, a top-like Steeler of all time, Deontay Johnson. You guys remember him? Deontay Johnson used to be a route runner. He had some of the best feet probably in the NFL at one point. Best hands? No. But the best feet, he was out there. And I feel like he was able to get open. Are we missing that route running demon like a Deontay Johnson? And I like Deontay too. It's just, once he dropped that first ball of a season, then you knew it was all going to go downhill from there. But are we missing that? And should we, hey, Deontay, what do you do? Should we ring him back up? What's up with that?
We just never really recovered from that. I thought there was other parts of the game day experience that were flat as well.
Do you see the flatness within the game and in practice as something that's not being done right from a coaching aspect or preparation aspect that's kind of framing you guys in the wrong way?
Is he checking his phone mid? Oh, he's getting that Perrier.
I know what you're trying to ask, and I'm not going to go down that road at all.
Hold on. What did he ask? What is he trying to ask?
preparation is within the game.
Other parts of the game day experience that were flat as well.
Do you see the flatness within the game and in practice as something that's not being done right from a coaching aspect or preparation aspect that's kind of framing you guys in the wrong way?
He's trying. So okay, yeah, he's trying to get Aaron Rodgers to throw Mike Tomlin under the bus. That's what that question is. And Aaron Rodgers, he ducks it. He ducks it.
I know what you're trying to ask, and I'm not going to go down that road at all. I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in Mike Tomlin. That's why I came here.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Sorry.
And players need to take accountability,
Yeah.
myself included, and I will. And I will
Oh,
continue to.
okay, Aaron. Hold up.
Right.
Hold on. Do I have it?
11 stars on offense, 11
Hold on,
on
do I have
defense, plus with
Where's
the
it at?
personnel groupings that we run.
Let's run it again.
I believe in the coaching staff. I believe in Mike Tomlin. That's why I came here. And players need to take accountability, myself included, and I will. I will continue to. I got to play better. But
I forgot I had the
there's
gunshots.
11 stars on offense, 11 on defense, plus with the personnel groupings that we run. We got to have a Monday to Saturday that we can be really proud of, our best Monday to Saturday, and go out and play our best game and take control of the division.
All right, so I went into this interview expecting to be really upset at Aaron Rodgers. However, him saying, players need to take accountability. Players need to take accountability. I mean, he said, I'll take accountability. I sucked. Who else needs to take accountability? Does TJ Watt need to take accountability? I know someone was saying TJ was washed. Does he need, who needs to take accountability, Aaron? Let's, who else? Who else?
Aaron, as an offensive leader, what can you do to help that process?
A lot of things. We had some extra film sessions this week. We had extra walkthrough Saturday night. So I thought the preparation, like I said, was better. But the practice wasn't as good as I thought it was. That doesn't mean you're going to have a bad performance. But the execution today just wasn't good enough.
To that point about,
Did they show you anything different
No.
on film? So it's just more your execution?
No, not really. They brought a couple corner pressures that we'd seen, but no, it was playing their coverage and did a good job, stopping the run, and there wasn't a lot of guys with a lot of separation.
Aaron, you came here because of Mike Tomlin, so you believe in the coaching staff. Did you hear the crowd's frustration, some of those Fire Tomlin fans in the fourth quarter, and kind of what goes through your mind when the entire crowd is that frustrated and that restless about the situation?
Yeah, that's part of it. They pay money for a ticket, so they have the right, good, bad, or indifferent, to say what they want. So
I feel like the entire crowd wasn't chanting it because I'll be honest, I mentioned this at the beginning of the live, I was there when a lot of the crowd was chanting, Fire Canada, Matt Canada. I was there like in the stadium, and that had to have been way louder than the Tomlin one. But maybe because I didn't see the TV thing. It was kind of leaking through the TV, the Tomlin one tonight. It was kind of leaking through. But I don't think it wasn't the entire crowd because you still have people like me who some people, and Mark, what's crazy? And I feel like it's just us, me, you, and JJ right now. What's crazy is I feel like I am continuously saying, hey, Mike Tomlin is like a problem or whatever. Like he's doing bad for us. And like, even still, that's not good enough. Like for these people, like I have to get on here and like Photoshop Mike Tomlin out of a picture. Like I have to get on here and just rip Mike Tomlin for it to like be good enough or whatever. Like for me to be doing my part or whatever. Like, it's just crazy to me. That like I have to be so negative, and like maybe I do have to be, but it's just low-key, I am kind of tired of the whole Renegade thing. We need to earn Renegade back. But yeah, man, it's just crazy what's going on with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. And I love Mike Tomlin, but he's kind of frustrating me, And the fact that I'm sitting here getting slandered over this guy, like that's another thing. Like Mike, I'm tired of catching these strays for you, doing whatever you're doing.
I totally understand the frustration. I've been booed on offense, even in Green Bay over the years. So that was a boo-worthy performance, and I understand the frustration.
Aaron, in other parts of the game day experience, is there anything you can elaborate on for them?
No.
Aaron, is there anything that you see from a halftime perspective? There's been a number of games where you all led at halftime. However, going into second half, you all lost those leads. So are you seeing anything from an adjustment standpoint that you all could do better in the second half?
I think it's kind of a misnomer for the most part. There's 12 minutes for halftime. Part of that time is coming back in. Part of that time is going back out. There's not a whole lot that happens at halftime. You know, there's conversations that happen between myself and
We need
Ryan.
to, so I don't know. We need to make better adjustments at halftime, and that doesn't have to happen literally in the locker room or whatever. That doesn't have to happen like as Mike Tomlin is motivating the team there. But like, if something isn't working in the game, we need to be better at fixing that. Like, I think that's, you know, I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with that. How we go about it, is one thing, but that's just something that like needs to happen. We need to be better at making in-game adjustments, and that's something that clearly Mike Tomlin has struggled with. Cicero, what's up? I'm here lurking and listening, brother. Been watching when I can for a few years. Stay the course. Yeah, I appreciate it, Cicero. I've seen you. Yeah, you have been around here for a while. I appreciate you. I hope you've been enjoying the content. I hope you've been enjoying the live. Also, something that like maybe is a little new. I know you guys. Hold on. I think I can kind of. I know you guys can't entirely see it. I'm going to make my webcam a little bigger, but we should be pushing like 60 frames. I got like a little bit of a better webcam. My girlfriend actually got it for me for my birthday, which was recently. So shout out to her. I've been trying to like do up the setup a little bit more. I'm trying to make the background a little bit better. You know, so I'm trying, man. I'm putting the money back into the channel. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, Cicero. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody who's been watching. Once again, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. We dropped a 1 out of, you know, even with the Steelers, man, when they lose, sometimes I'd be winning because we did drop a 1 out of 10. We did drop a 1. Commanders just fucked up. What's going on in that? Is there a football game still going on? They should have. Did they go for 2? I've been here. Yeah, what's going on with the Commanders?
Conversation from position coaches and coordinators talk, but there's not wholesale changes that need or should be made at halftime. There's little adjustments that you talk about, things you like, openers for the second half. But, you know, players, we got to take accountability for our performance. Mine wasn't good enough tonight.
No, it was not.
Players as well that feel the same way.
Even after the way you talked about the accountability of guys needing to hold themselves accountable. You've been on championship teams, have seen your fair share of locker rooms. This late in the season, is it concerning that that's still an issue right now?
Who said it was an issue?
There were guys not holding themselves accountable.
I never said that. But I said we need to hold ourselves accountable.
He did. He's right. He didn't say that because, like, I don't know. I feel like the reporters they're trying to make a story out of nothing. Like, he didn't say people aren't holding themselves accountable, and I was kind of like, you know, leaking into it as well. But we just got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got to figure out what the problem is, and like, if you're playing bad, you need to speak up. You need to sub yourself out. If you're not playing well, you need to go and sit the bench because there is a James Pierre out there ready to take your spot and go hoop for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Do you feel like people are holding themselves accountable right now?
I do. I didn't hear TJ, but I'm assuming that TJ held himself accountable, and I'm talking about my performance from a critical standpoint. I expect the rest of the guys to do the same.
Two more. After the way things have gone for this team collectively recently, you guys still are in a tight race in the AFC North. What do you think is going to be the key to maximize the opportunity down the stretch?
Well, we control our destiny. We got to win. We got 3 division games. 2 of them versus Baltimore next week and the last week of the season. So it's a tough place to play. I played there before during the COVID season. So we got a great fan base and be loud and rocking, and we got to bring the right mindset.
Last one here.
It seemed like you and some of the receivers were off on some of the routes, the go ball to Roman, the one to Jonu, or either the seam he settled down. There were some scramble drills that seemed a little out of sync. How do you guys build that connection this part of the year, and how do you kind of go through that with your pass catchers, where it's saying, hey, maybe I saw this, you see this, iron those out over the last 5 months?
When there's film sessions, everybody shows up, and when I check to a route,
oh, here it is. Here it is.
The right route, you know, like John and I just weren't on the same page. I checked to his in breaker, and he ran out breaker. You know, John is a true professional, so I'm sure he's sick about that. But you know, I threw a ball I thought was going to get hit by the wind, and it was 4 yards over Roman. So throw, I got to make that throw.
Did they just bleep that out? That wasn't me.
But you know, we have our meetings every week. We have other opportunities outside of the facility, and look forward to seeing all the boys there.
So, okay, so with that quote, I expected that to come like sooner in the live, or not in the live. I expected that to come sooner in like this whole interview. I didn't like him calling out Janu like by name to the reporters, just like I didn't like him, visually looking as frustrated as he did at the time of him like as in the play in question. It was plain as day. Like you could see when it happened. Like Aaron took a shot to the end zone on the inside. Janu went to the outside. Aaron's like all pissed off or whatever. I don't like it. I didn't like it when Ben did it either, truthfully. Big Ben used to do this all the time on like his radio show or whatever. Like he used to call receivers out. I just don't like it now. Maybe I'm a punk. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm soft. Maybe I'm woke or whatever. However you want to say it. Maybe that's me. But I just don't like that. Now maybe he's using that as like a motivation or like a leadership kind of thing. Like John was going to hear that and like, hold himself accountable, as Aaron's saying. Like we all need to hold ourselves accountable. But it's like, I don't know. Aaron's like base saying, oh, I didn't play well, which clearly he didn't play well. Oh, I'm not playing well. But then like when it's other people like Janu, he's like specifically calling out the play and stuff. And I don't know. I just don't like it. But once again, maybe I'm soft and maybe Aaron is like, he is this like good leader. I've seen this happen on a bunch of other teams that Aaron's been on. I've seen like the situations where like, he kind of puts himself first before the team, or at least the media spins it that way, that like he's putting himself before the team. And so I don't know. I didn't like that. I'm just sick of Aaron. Like I'm sick of these plays happening that where Aaron has to look as frustrated as he does. Like I wish that we could, I don't know, kind of get on the same page when it came to like the offensive play calling and like the in-game adjustments and the hot routes and things like that. Like I wish Janu could understand like what Aaron was saying. I wish Aaron understood that like Janu didn't understand what he was saying, and like let's lock it back in order to like get this play off. Because right now with our current play calling, like we're averaging like 20 yards a game, and like we can't get first downs, and we're running the ball on 3rd and 9. It's just it's frustrating. The team is old and nobody can take charge because of the head coach that's there. Can't have the ego challenged. What's up, Sweet Steve? Thank you for joining the live. The team is pretty old. I mean, look at Aaron Rodgers' beard. We are pretty old. Yeah, I don't know. Like Aaron, he played horrible. He kind of took accountability for it. Did TJ Watt give an interview today? Hold on, I'm going to pull it up. Once again, I don't want to have it like out of full screen, because like I get a lot of my stuff from Twitter, and like Twitter be showing like, your location and stuff. I'm sure if somebody tried hard enough, they could get my location. However, I'm trying to be a little safe. So it is going to be this black screen. I got to get better at this whole streaming thing. But I'm going to try to see if I can find like a TJ Watt interview. Maybe we can dissect that, and then I don't know how much more I can say about this. Maybe that'll kind of concur the live. We've been going though, once again, for the last time. If you're in here, if you're enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the live, if you're like getting your shit off, please hit that subscribe button. We're going to continue to be talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers all week, all year, all season. And in fact, I did just release a video today. So if you want to go watch a video, it is on the channel. Let me try to find this TJ Watt interview real quick. All right, I believe I found it. I believe I got it. Let's pull it back up here. We do have 20 in the chat. Shout out to everybody. Let's see what TJ Watt had to say. The old, the washed, the young, and the restless, the old and the slow. Let's see what TJ Watt has to say. Shout out to TJ Watt. You see the jersey. Greatest of all time. Let's get TJ a water, man. Come on, what are we doing?
TJ, any explanation for some of the differences and the issues you've had in the second half after in a number of these games?
Just coming out flat, not playing good enough football in all facets.
TJ, how do you explain the team coming out flat in this type of game?
Not making plays, not enough. I mean, playmaking is what sets things off, and when you're not making plays, sucks, and we need to find ways to be able to make plays. And I mean, I've never seen a team run the same play as much as they ran it tonight and have as much success as they had.
Boom. Okay, that's a nice. I've never seen a team run the same play and have as much success as they did tonight. Is that so? There's two ways you can take that. It's we didn't make the adjustment, right? Like we didn't adjust to what they were doing, or we did and like we couldn't stop it. Either way is spooky. It's not good for the team. Like that's oh my god, I paused this at a bad frame for TJ, but that's not good for the. Oh, I did it again. It's not good for the team, you know. And so that's kind of disheartening to hear. But I'm hoping that it was just a common Steeler occurrence of like we didn't adjust mid game and like. In the future, we will adjust, but you know how this team is. I don't think we will.
I mean, I'm out of words for it.
Also, with the defense, you guys provided several opportunities for the offense, giving them great field position and they.
Yeah, whoever this is, this specific voice, I don't know who it is, but I've heard him in this post game interview thing. He is trying to get some answers. He's literally asking TJ, like, yo, you guys gave the offense a chance. Like, why do they suck so bad, TJ? Like, why is the offense so trash?
Catch with the field goal. So when you get through time of possession, is it true? I mean, defense hates to admit any weakness, but sometimes do you guys get tired after the time of possession favors the other team by such a large margin?
If we get a 3 and out, we're off the field. So it's as simple as that. The attrition is on us for not getting off the field. There's nobody else to blame but ourselves. It's as simple as that.
The play that the Bills kept running on you guys. Was it something that you guys talked about going into this week, and what led to the lack of adjustments to counter it?
Absolutely. I mean, we knew that 4 was a hell of a runner. I think number 1 or number 2 rushing.
Bro, James Cook, he had a fantastic game. However, the Bills also had another running back. His name was Ray Davis. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. If you didn't, know who he was. You know who he was tonight. Ray Davis was cooking us today, and like that seems to always be the story with us and like backup running backs. Backup running backs are always going to get their shit off against us. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that happens to us continuously. And I wish we could stop it. But yeah, like that's a common occurrence of backup running backs just getting their shit off.
In the National Football League, we knew that he liked to bounce outside, knew that he was an elite running
Big
back.
body Bugatti. Rick, what's going on? Welcome. Tough day. Rick, what happened in the game, the Washington game? Because someone mentioned it. I saw your text too. Someone mentioned it in the chat of Washington messing up. Like, what is going on right now as I'm watching the Steelers suck?
Weren't able to stop it tonight.
How much did that impact your ability to rush Allen and be a factor that way?
Significantly.
Did you feel like it was physicality, execution, assignments? Where was the missteps when it came to the run?
We'll have to watch the film, but it was an ass kicking in all areas.
We didn't have Derek Harmon, which didn't help.
I'm focused on what we can do better as a defense.
TJ, as a leader on this team, what can you do to get this team to play better?
It's a great question. Have tough conversations, but we've been having tough conversations. So it's finding a way to just play better, try to get everybody else. I'm looking at myself in the mirror as well, trying to play better, and we need to figure something out because clearly what's been going on hasn't been working effectively to not be able to stack wins. In the National Football League is not a winning formula.
TJ, you've been on some teams where the situation mid-season looked bleak, and you guys eventually figured it out. Can you apply any of that to what's going on right now, and how?
We just need to look within, man. I don't want to look at any other examples. We talk about the talent that we have. We talk about everything that we have, but right now we don't have a kick-ass defensive group, and that's all that I can speak on.
We should have a kick-ass defensive group. Sean Evans, what's going on? Worst team we've had since the 80s. It wasn't supposed to be the worst team. And that's what's the concerning part of it. We were supposed to be a lot better than what we've been putting out there. But something I'm noticing, Watt not playing Superman all day, Steelers will lose more and more. It's obvious that he's carried for a long time. And when he hasn't, it's been bad. Sweet Steve, thank you for saying that because we've been getting a lot of TJ Watt slander, which I feel like kind of comes with the territory of, when we're playing bad, we just look for, player to slander. Like TJ has played really good for us. Now he could play better in certain situations for sure. But in the same way, it's Mike Tomlin's fault. I don't know. I feel like TJ is getting a lot of the need Minka Fitz. Literally, we might need Minka back low key. But I feel like TJ's taking a lot of like heat for this, and he really shouldn't be. He's not playing the best. Like he's not playing where he should be. And like Nick Herbig playing where he is. We need to find a way to get Nick Herbig on the field more. But it stinks. 15 seasons out of 19 with no playoff wins. Tomlin is a fraud, overrated like a mug. Maybe, man, maybe.
What do you guys have to do to get back to being that kind of a group the way you guys thought you could be?
I'm sure we'll discuss that plenty this week.
It seemed like they were running a lot of duo, right? You guys and then bouncing Cook outside. What about that concept? The way they run it made it so hard. And is there anything you guys could have done to try and slow it down?
They were very effective. We tried many different things and weren't successful.
We tried many different things.
You guys have the answers inside the locker room to counter teams that want to run at you this way.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, like you say, it's not a tough run concept. I mean, it's something that we need to stop.
Reporters be asking like amazing questions, man. Like that was like the second or third time that it might have been the same dude, but like they're asking if the personnel to stop, the team or to play better, like is in the room currently, saying like, are the players you have currently good enough? Like we've answered that question pretty flawlessly as a team, honestly, because like, what are you supposed to say? No, like the players we have stink. Like we're never going to be good. Like that's just a dumb question. I don't understand why they keep doing that. I did see Minka had that like pick 2 or whatever at the end of the game. Shout out to Minka, man. We need him back. Maybe one more trade, one more like we bring Minka back to Pittsburgh and like he just does the cycle one more time. Maybe in the future we'll do that. Tomlin does he deserves some respect as well as he deserves some criticism as well. Americans and Steelers fans are spoiled. Damn, we're getting into the geopolitical state of the universe right now when the Steelers lose. That's tough. But let's see. Can I like just full screen? I'm gonna just full screen it real quick because like I'm like sort of out of interviews right now. I didn't really expect. Honestly, I didn't expect this live to do as well as it did. I just thought I was gonna kind of get on here, get my shit off, and get out. But this has been a pretty fun time, and I don't know if I'm necessarily ready to end the fun there. Next week, who do we got? I think it's the Ravens, right? Next week we have the Ravens next week, and that's gonna be like a clearly a must win, but like that's gonna be really important for the division. We're gonna be playing in Baltimore. Coming off a loss is pretty tough, but as some people say, we are kind of due for a win. And so they did just lose to the Bengals as well. Derek Harmon, I'm not sure his status or whatever. I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to come back and play. But we're gonna have to stop the run. Like that's point blank period. We're gonna have to stop the run way better than what we've been showing in the past, way better than what we've done in the past. And low key, there's like some revenge factor to it as well. Like not only is it for the division, but last year in the playoffs, what's his name? Derrick Henry ran all over us. George Pickens has made comments suggesting the Steelers' offense was bad. If he was still in Pittsburgh, would it have made a difference? That's a good question. So, no, I don't think so. And like I made this video recently about I released it like 2 days ago about George Pickens and like just the Steelers, offense or whatever as a whole. I believe if we had George Pickens, it would help a little bit, but like at the same time, I just don't think we're ready to be a good team right now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think we're ready to like really utilize George Pickens as full state. And like that's we pay that punishment right now by trading him and letting him go to the Cowboys and like letting him get his shit off for all of us to see while we're sitting here struggling to get 10 yards of passing like that. We just pay that punishment. I'm not gonna watch some fully licensed NFL highlight videos. That's what got me last time. I'm glad to be back. Alex, once again, what's going on? Welcome. Good day, Zay. Thank you. I'm a good bloke. Shout out to you, Mark. But yeah, we still are here. We still have a chance to get our shit off. Should I get one more beer? You might as well get one more beer. I'm still debating on if I should take a drink as well, but it's 12:20. This has been a very successful live, a very successful day, even though once again the Steelers are horrible. But we were able to get off a 1 out of 10 on the whole YouTube sphere. We've had a pretty successful live. We've we've had some super chats too. Shout out to Mark for like really leading the charge in the super chat department. And then we got a $5 chat from someone who like seems like they hate me, honestly. It seems like they donated $5 just to tell me how much like they hate me, and everything I stand for, which was cool. And hold on, actually, I want to pull this up real quick. Let me see. I want to pull this up real quick because I kind of do want to look at the playoff. What time do you have to get up and watch Australia? I kind of want to look at this, the AFC playoff picture. So right now, this I'm gonna make me really small, just that way you can see Baltimore. Like we were just here, but because we lost, we're now in the hunt. And so for us to make the playoffs, you can see the Chargers, the Colts, and the Bills. We just lost to the Bills, and we lost to the Chargers. However, we beat the Colts. If we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna have to win the division, and it's still in a winnable state. But like New England being 10-2, I didn't really see. Rick, however, Big Body Bugatti, he was someone who was kind of high, I guess, on the Patriots. He kind of saw it coming. We beat them though. This is what's we beat the Patriots and we beat the Colts. But you know, we're still in this position. And the Kansas City, Rick, oh my God, wait a second. I know that's not who I think it is. In the bottom right, ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins are slowly climbing in the AFC playoff picture. The Dolphins are here, represent Minka Fitzpatrick doing his thing. The Dolphins are in the hunt. You know what I'm saying? It's not over. It's just bad right now. You know what I'm saying? We're just in a really bad state. But like, if we do our thing, if we handle business, we still can make the playoffs, and all we need is to win that playoff game. Like no matter how it goes, if we can just win a playoff game, to me, we can look at that season as like a success. You know what I'm saying? We can leave the season with our heads sort of held high. We just need, or like I say this too, we can lose another playoff game and like everyone's gonna be mad and like hate Mike Tomlin or whatever. But as long as like we leave the game like shooting, you know what I'm saying? As long as we leave the game with like a chance to win, then that even to me is a positive, because like every single season our last game played is just like a blowout. Our last game played is just like, please can this game hurry up and be over, because we have no chance of winning this. Like if we can just show some pride, which we didn't show any pride today. Like I'm saying all of this exciting stuff or whatever, I'm saying all this motivational stuff, but we did not show any pride. It's like we're far away from showing pride. But if we can just do that, then that's a successful thing. And then one game back from Pitt and we fired our GM. It's not a good sign. However, the Dolphins, they don't have Tyreek Hill either. But just team for team, like the Dolphins, I feel like are a lot more creative, maybe even to a fault, than like what the Steelers have been showing out there. Like our offense is just so bad. Like our play calling is truly, genuinely awful. You also have an Achane out there who's cooking. Jaylen Warren, I love Jaylen Warren, but it seems like we like Kenneth Gainwell more than we like Jaylen Warren, and that's a whole other story. Kansas City. Let's talk about the Chiefs, man. I hope that the Kansas City Chiefs fall out of this soon. I really can't stand the Chiefs. But let's see. Who is going to I'm trying to look at these teams. This feels really open, doesn't it? Doesn't it feel really open in the AFC? Like, I don't see, maybe the Ravens, because they're kind of low key or whatever, or not low key, but like maybe they're just like at a loss for momentum or whatever, or like maybe they're never going to find that momentum. But the AFC feels as relatively open. I don't see like a prolific favorite here, unless I'm just sleeping. Like the Colts, they're kind of falling off a little bit. The Bills, because of Josh Allen, maybe the Bills, like you just look at them there, or like maybe you put your faith in like the Drake May or Bo Nix, New England and Denver, and like they have the best records. As long as Tua's out there, you have nothing to worry about. He'll take us nowhere. T's and P's for Tua, man. Maybe Tua's going to be a Steeler one day. I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, though, I think is done. I think after this season, Aaron's going to be done. I'm seeing a lot of regression out of him so far this season. Let me go ahead and make this bigger real quick. Maybe we can find some other stuff to talk about. So in conclusion, though, the Washington, they lost, right? Washington lost. That's great news to me. Cameron Hayward and Josh Allen got into it as well. I don't know if we really want to talk about that at all, but Cameron Hayward and Josh Allen were pretty much fighting on the field. AFC South is competitive for once. That's like, I feel like us in the South kind of flipped, because literally you just have to have a pulse, I feel like, to win the AFC North, and it's like none of us have a pulse. Winning both games against the Ravens would allow them to win the AFC North and have been securing a playoff spot in a home game. I see the Bills / Jags and Texans. But Texans, what is going on? I'm weak, Rick. What is going on with the Texans? Are they good? Are the Texans not very good? What's going on with the Houston Texans? Because I can never get them right. What's the storyline? Who wins the Super Bowl? I gotta see the NFC playoff picture, but like the Rams just lost to the Panthers. Before this, I was thinking the Rams were gonna kind of, go all the way. Like they were like my Super Bowl team. But right now, I'm not sure. After that loss to the Panthers, I'm not sure. Jeez Louise, man. Holy smokes. Look at this hole right here. This is what we're talking about. Like, we're really missing Derek Harmon, and this is why we took him in the first round. We were just getting absolutely dominated by and is this Ray Davis, right? I think this is Ray Davis. We were just getting absolutely pushed around by the Buffalo Bills. And, like, we heard Mike Tomlin earlier when he said that, like, he thought the safety positioning was, like, he said something Tomlin-esque, but, like, essentially he said that the safeties were in the right position, like, they shouldn't have played up more. However, you see a picture like this, and it's, like, probably should have been dropping them down a little bit more, but, like, you also don't expect to get pushed around like this, like, and these are all one-on-one matchups, everyone is pretty much losing their one-on-one right now. Like, TJ, is that TJ? Who's 88? Is that Knox? Is 88 Dawson Knox? I know this is like literally a still frame, and so like maybe TJ Watt literally just pushed him to the ground immediately after this picture was taken. But this can't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like this can't happen. This actually might be Watt over here. I can't really make out the numbers, but yeah, we're just getting pushed around. Harrison was screaming about the D-line getting pushed around. This picture shows he's right. And the Bills, yeah, they do have bullies on their O-line. A lot of blue-collar O-linemen, if you catch my drift, probably. But yeah, this has been tough. But I'm sure other teams have been going through this all year. Like we just happened to face them the one time this season. But if you've been watching the Bills, maybe this is what they've been doing all year. They got 3 top-tier blocking tight ends. We have 1. We have Darnell Washington. They're sneaky good. See, I thought it was going to be the Rams winning the Super Bowl, but truthfully, I'm not sure who's going to win the Super Bowl anymore at this point. Maybe it could be the Steelers. Mark, what's up? Let me see something here. I'm really straight. I want to show some plays, but, I want to also, learn my lesson or whatever. I do want to learn my lesson. However, Minka Fitzpatrick did, hold on, we'll just kind of casually, Minka Fitzpatrick doing his thing. We'll just kind of casually do it. Minka Fitzpatrick, pick 6. Okay, we'll just, we'll pull it back up. But Minka Fitzpatrick did do that, so shout out to Minka. Sub to Zaya. Facts, if you're in the live, you're not subscribed already, and you want to keep hearing about the Pittsburgh Steelers, please hit that subscribe button. We've been on a pretty nice upload streak after beating our case or whatever, after, getting out of YouTube jail. We've been doing our thing. And we have a video on the channel currently, if you guys haven't seen it already. I did upload earlier about the Steelers post-game reaction. It was enough. It was a pretty nice one. A 1 out of 10. It seems to be doing pretty well. And yeah, man. The Panthers did have a big win today. They took down the Rams. And I think the Panthers, they've been picking it up. This is the most kind of been nice to see teams like the Bears. Yeah, you know what? I forgot to mention the Bears. The Bears have been also doing really well. I know somebody who's been making a lot of money off the Bears doing well. I don't know who they play next week, but I would stray away from that bet low key. The Bears, they seem to be running the table. Okay, flush Thursday night this season. Dang, man, I can't believe we fell out of the playoff picture. That's tough. Or I guess we're still in the picture, but we fell out of the playoffs because once again the Ravens were 1-5, man, and we were 4. The Ravens were 1-5 and we were 4-1. And we're in must-win football games again. That's very unfortunate, man. Keep up the content, man, because you love it. I appreciate it, Mark. I'm gonna keep going. Same reason why I do it. Yeah, you keep it going as well, because we were kind of talking about it earlier of the whole YouTube thing, and it's like you're uploading to nobody, and then it kind of for me it was very disheartening, and then at the same time as all that I'm sitting here trying to figure out what to talk about per se as well. And I'm putting in all this effort and it's nothing's really happening. Mark, you keep uploading as well. Maybe you got to get a suspension. That's what happened to me. I had to get suspended to seeming like I got it back or whatever. I had to take a little, copyright class, I guess. You see the back of I feel like the back of my head. I need a haircut. I desperately need a freaking haircut, man. This is really bad. The back of my head looks crazy right now. Bears are Final Bull Prodigy, any one of them, he created the 3-4 outlaw that remade the defense of the 90s. Since he left, Tomlin warts have been exposed, for sure. I don't, and like, that's another thing, like, you know, we talk about these coordinators or whatever, like, who is going to be the next coordinator? Because, like, I don't think you can keep either Terrell or, what's his name? I don't think you can keep Terrell or Arthur Smith path this season. Like, I just can't see it, you know? I just can't see it. And I don't know which one should go first. Like, I feel like it's got to be Arthur Smith, even though, like, we haven't really given him the best team to coordinate, but we've allowed him to have, like, 19 tight ends on the team. We've given him that chance, and, like, I don't know, that's not really producing into anything. Also, Keon Coleman caught a touchdown against us, which was frustrating because he did just get, like, suspended or whatever. That was annoying. But yeah, low-key, I feel like I'm kind of... can we get an orange sheet? Oh, we can. You know what? We can get an orange sheet update. Shout out to Rick for this because Rick is the one who actually made me this. There's a lot of stuff from Rick in this setup. You can't see it, but there's also... Well, let's have some arts and crafts real quick. Which don't look at the score, but this is something he drew. Now, Rick is like also, he's a very artsy guy. I don't think it's going to focus, but that's Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to this big guy over here, DK Metcalf. And at the time this was drawn, I feel like neither of them were on the team. Aaron, I don't think was on the team yet, but like Rick drew this. It also has the Browns beating us 36-13, which is very unfortunate. But it fell out of the frame. It used to be in the setup. But orange sheet update. I don't necessarily want to take it off because, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to mess it up or whatever. But let's see. I had us beating the Jets, which I was correct about. And then I had us beating the Seahawks, which I was wrong about. Then beating the Patriots, I was right about. Beating the Vikings, I was right about. I had us losing to the Browns. But I think we won that game maybe? We won that game, and then I had us beating the Bengals. Or no, I'm sorry. I had us losing to the Browns, and then I had us losing to the Bengals. I was right about losing to the Bengals. I had us losing to the Packers, and I was right about that. I had us beating the Colts. I was right about that. I had us beating the Chargers. I was wrong about that. And then I had us beating the Bengals, right about that. Losing to the Bears. I was right about that. And then now, you know, for the latest one, I haven't updated it yet, but I did have us beating the Bills. We didn't beat the Bills, so I'm gonna have to add an X onto that. But for a possible so far, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. For a possible 12 points of just getting the prediction right. So there's possible 12 points. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 8. So out of a possible 12 points, I've gotten 8. So I've rightly predicted 8 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Whether that was what I had as winning or losing, I've gotten 8 out of 12 so far. So that's pretty good. Way better than I'm doing in the pool. We all know coaches are going nowhere again. Same exact coaching staff last year, and this year will be next. Second verse, same as the first. Yeah, pretty much like, I don't know. But I feel like, especially if we missed the playoffs right after starting out, you know, how we started out and like the division looking how it looked, I feel like if we missed the playoffs, then these coordinators are going. Mike Tomlin, he'll stay. But, like, I don't think we're going to have the same coordinators rolling into it. And, like, if we do bring in new coordinators, as I've, like, continuously said, if we bring the new ones in, we have to actually allow them to cook. We have to actually allow them to, like, do what they want to do and not, like, what Mike Tomlin thinks that they should do. But, yeah. Well, thoughts on the cornerback room is old. It's really old. Jalen Ramsey, I guess starting with... We need another guy for sure because, like, we have Jalen Ramsey at, like, the safety spot right now. Brandon Echols shows promise. Joey Porter Jr., I want him to be a little bit better than what he's shown to be. But, you know, I do believe we need another kind of corner. And also, there's somebody who came in with Corey Trice. Corey Trice is somebody who I really would have liked to be good. However, I think he keeps getting hurt. And we may have released him, if not, like, putting him on the practice squad or whatever. You know, so that was a tough situation. We also got rid of Beanie Bishop this year. We just signed somebody, Asante Samuel Jr. I didn't really, you know, see much from him this week. James Pierre, you live and die with James Pierre. He shouldn't be our best corner, but the fact that he's like out here making plays is encouraging. However, yeah, we definitely need better corner play as well. But I feel like that's always been the Steelers, man. We always need better play out of our corners. Do you think JPJ is overrated? No, not really. I don't think he's overrated. Like I think a lot of I think overrated in terms of like Steelers fans maybe, but in terms of like league wide, I don't think anyone's really talking about JPJ. Asante Samuel, he played today. I don't think anyone's like really hyping up JPJ outside of us, you know. So I don't think he's overrated, but maybe overrated in terms of like how we feel about him. Other teams use a lot of quick timing passes over the middle of the field. Steelers rarely do. Scheme or players. I want to say scheme. I want to say it's more the players, but like no, I'm sorry. I want to say it's more the scheme because Aaron, you know, whenever they ask him, they say like, you know, people are there, like we just don't throw him the ball, but like I feel like if the offense was predicated towards using middle of the field, then we would. Just like the offense right now is predicated towards like giving the ball to Connor Hayward or like giving the ball to Kenneth Gainwell on like these 2-yard dig routes or whatever. Like I feel like that's what the offense we want to run is, and it just doesn't work. You know, like there's no way week in and week out we're drawing up these plays for the middle of the field and like everyone's just ignoring it. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that like it has to be we're just not really focusing on it and scheming on it, you know. Buddy Evans' 46 defense was predicated on a psycho stud safety. Our 34's defense was based on the same linchpin player. Gosh, damn, these are a lot of football terminologies. Holy smokes. Enter Troy Polamalu. We need that center. We do need that center fielder again. I feel like we tried to do that with Minka, but it was just never as good, right? And like Minka's not Troy Polamalu, but you know, we never could get back to that. But like the league, I feel like is also a little bit different than like when Troy played and shit, you know? And so like it's really not as effective as like it once was. Everybody is better from like the quarterbacks to the wide receivers in terms of like reading the defense and like the offensive linemen. They're drinking a lot more milk than, you know, they used to. They have a lot more of whatchamacallit. They just have they're just better than they were. I joined membership, but Ian's have to come on my show once a month. That's the agreement. I've joined them. Wait, Mark, you're saying you joined my memberships and I have to come on once a month. I appreciate you joining the memberships. You're asking me to come on once a month? For what, like a podcast or something? I'm down. We'd have to find like, literally like right now, yeah, Palomalu is not replicatable for sure. Like that, he was one of a kind. But right now, like this time is pretty good for me. But Rick knows like during the week is very tough for me. Like to promise anything because I'm liable to be at work up until now. But like, if we could do it like now, like at this time, I'm down. And once again, thank you for joining. Oh yeah, duh, I can see the emojis. Big Pit Pan, the Pit Pan. Oh Rick, look. Also, we have the cards here too. We have some of them. I haven't figured out the best like placement for them, but I'm trying to get a lot of my Steelers stuff up. 4 p.m. Monday. Got it. 4 p.m. Monday. Is that what it is now for you? 4 p.m. Monday. Beers with Zaya. I gotta get beers. But yeah, hopefully I'll be down to like do the show with you once again. We just kind of have to coordinate on like what's going on for me and my work because it gets real spooky out there in the work streets. But speaking of work, I think I am gonna kind of end it here. This was a very successful live, honestly. Like, I did not expect all this to happen. I did not expect it to go down the way it did. Karma because we did Kenny Pickett wrong. We did, Champ JR, you know what? We did do Kenny Pickett wrong. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we did with Kenny Pickett, man. With Rodgers. The scheme was the pistol. We just get, and like even when Mason Rudolph came in, we like stuck with the pistol thing, which I thought was dumb. Because like Mason is able to go under center, but Mason Rudolph sucks and immediately blew his chance when getting the opportunity. So like that's just classic Mason Rudolph. But we did do Kenny Pickett wrong, man. We should have never traded the guy. Right place, wrong time. Maybe in another life, Kenny Pickett will be our quarterback. But yeah, like I said, I think that is gonna do it for me for this live. The next time I do go live, I don't know what the next time I'm gonna go live is. Could be tomorrow morning, could be tomorrow night. We'll end up seeing. But once again, I do encourage everybody to subscribe to the channel because I always upload videos about it. We did Josh Dobbs wrong. Where is Kenny Pickett? Kenny Pickett is on the Raiders. We don't have to start the Kenny Pickett debate. Kenny Pickett stinks. We all know he stinks, but he did bring an ACC championship to the Pitt Panthers, and we'll ever be grateful for him. But he had a little bit too much dip on his chip. He got benched in like you know, he stinks. So like he talked a little bit too much, and that is what it is. But you know, we didn't really develop him. But yeah, stay tuned to the channel for, you know, I guess some more things about when I'm going live. Mark, thank you for the memberships and the super chats tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning out. This has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next live, man. Thank you all.